Did you know that before Central Park was built in New York City, there was once a black community there? It was called Seneca Village, and it was a special place where African American families owned land, built homes, and created a strong community in the 1800s. Seneca Village started in 1825 when Andrew Williams, a 25-year-old African American shoe shiner, bought 3 plots of land from the Episcopal Church. Soon, other black families, like Epiphany Davis and Albro Lyons, bought land there too. Back then, owning land was important. It wasn't just about having a home. In New York State at the time, black men had to own at least $250 worth of property to be allowed to vote. Buying land in Seneca Village meant gaining the right to have a voice in government. Seneca Village grew into a diverse community. By the 1850s, around 225 people lived there. Most were African Americans, but there were also Irish and German immigrants. Families built over 30 homes, 3 churches, 2 schools, and even cemeteries. Some of the well-known families included the Williams family. Andrew Williams and his family were among the first landowners. The Lyons family, Albro Lyons and his wife, Mary Joseph Lyons, were active in fighting against slavery and cared about education. The Springsteads, Nancy and John Springstead, were an interracial couple living in the village. Seneca Village gave black families a safe, quiet place to live with fresh air, away from the crowded, harsh conditions in other parts of the city. In 1853, New York City decided to build Central Park. The government used a law called eminent domain to force people to leave their homes so the city could take over the land. Even though the law said people should be paid fairly for their land, many Seneca Village residents were paid far less than their property was worth. By 1857, the entire village was destroyed. Houses, churches, and cemeteries were torn down or buried. The people had to move away, and Seneca Village was forgotten for over 100 years. For many years, people didn't know much about Seneca Village. But historians began looking at old property records, maps, and tax rolls in the 1990s. These records showed who owned the land, how much they paid, how big their properties were. This research proved that many African Americans owned their own homes and land in Seneca Village, a big achievement for that time. In 2011, archaeologists worked with the Central Park Conservancy to dig at the site of Seneca Village. They found many items from everyday life, such as a child's shoe sole, pieces of teacups and dishes, a toothbrush handle, stone foundations of homes. These discoveries showed that Seneca Village wasn't just a collection of shacks. It was a real, thriving neighborhood with families who cared about their homes and lives. Why is Seneca Village important today? Today, you can find signs in Central Park telling visitors about Seneca Village. Learning about it helps us understand the history of black land ownership and voting rights in New York. How black communities were often pushed out to make room for city projects. The resilience and determination of African American families. Seneca Village is a reminder that history sometimes tries to erase important stories, but we can bring them back to light. Seneca Village was more than just land. It was a place of hope, freedom, and community for African American families. Even though it was destroyed to make Central Park, its story has been rediscovered through property records, archaeology, and historical research. By learning about Seneca Village, we honor the people who lived there and make sure their story is never forgotten.